So it's a brisk March morning out here, and we got a lead on a dead standing tree. Not sure if it's oak or walnut. The guy didn't really know. We're going to go check it out, maybe get some good carving wood and or some firewood. So get an angle here. You can see we're kind of loading up some gear, hooked up to the old 8N, and getting ready to go see what the deal is. Yeah.
Blackjack Davy came a-riding by, sang so sweet and gaily, made the greenwood around him ring to charm the heart of a lady, to charm the heart of a lady.
Day long while ago I walked down dirt road and stood in a time of great. Stone walls line the road, black and white cattle roamed in the fields, corn growed up straight. These times have changed since my young life. I never thought I'd see the day. There's houses in the cornfield and a fallen down barn, and the old dirt road was paved, and the old dirt road was paved.
After a nice long tractor ride, crossing creeks, pulling steep hills, and views that seemed to go on forever, we finally pulled into the field where the dead standing tree was. Alright, so that is the tree that we're coming to see. It's an oak tree. You can see it's fallen over, and it is really seriously snagged in that other oak tree. It's pretty big, I'd say roughly around 28 inches across. So that's what we're here to deal with. We're going to go make an assessment and see what we can do. Alright, so you can see we got a wicked lean to that sucker, and she's all tangled up on top of that other tree right there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to cut a nice angle cut on the bottom of that so we can hopefully get it to slide off the stump and hopefully keep sliding, and it'll fall out of that. Once we get the cut made, we'll hook the tractor up in a chain and give it a pull. But so you can't just go ahead and cut all the way through, obviously, so because this tree will just fall and pinch this off. So some of these other limbs that have already fallen off, we're going to make us a couple of wedges to prevent the pinching. Alright, so we got our wedges ready. Wedges are a very specific but seriously technical piece of equipment. You would think that a wedge is a wedge, but that is absolutely not true. So a wedge that is too thin with not enough taper doesn't actually wedge anything. A wedge that is too much taper has too much mechanical disadvantage, so when you go to push it in, it just keeps spitting back out, and it won't accomplish what you want it to do. So choosing the exact specific taper is very, very important. Alright, so we're going to switch over saws to a much bigger saw because this is a pretty big tree. So we'll have at it here. being all the way through, and we don't want that weight of the tree to fall down and pinch our bar. So we're going to set our wedges in there to make sure to prevent the pinch. Set in there really, really tight. That's why I talked earlier about the specific taper. Very, very important. So now that we got our wedges seated, we're going to assess the situation and make sure we can actually get back in case the tree starts to slide. So you can see that cut that we made is slightly canted down to encourage the tree to slip out and slide, but not canted so much to where if it slips off, it'll just stab immediately into the ground, or canted so much that it'll create such a desire that it'll slip on its own. We want it to stay there until we get the chain and the tractor hooked up to it. That way it gives us enough time to safely get away from it. Alright, so we gave it a tug. It slipped off the stump pretty good, came out quite a few, 4 or 5 feet, but it did stab in the ground pretty good with the whole weight of the tree. So it's got a lot of weight pushing out the dirt. It's pretty stuck right now. But I'm gonna try a different technique. We've got this red oak top that was laying there, and we've got our chain hooked to it, and it's cantilever's prying off the stump like a fulcrum. So when we pull here, it's gonna like put a lot of pressure kind of lifting up on that tree and pulling it up out of the dirt. That's what we're trying to do. If you just hook the tractor to it here and try to pull, it's just pushing it further in the dirt. The tractor has nowhere enough strength to do that. So we're going to try the lever action, see if we're more successful with that.
Well, I am not the man I thought I'd be. I've fallen short of any sympathy.
So our fulcrum worked really good. We had to reset it once or twice, but we gained a little bit with each time. You'll notice the distance between the trunk of the tree and the stump keeps growing bigger and bigger with each reset.
And I've been pleading with God to set me free, but I'm tired of all the human things. It's time for me to leave. Oh, I have tried, and I have failed, and I have burned some bridges on my trail. And with a broken heart and a wounded knee, but I've stumbled toward oblivion. But you followed me. always calling me. Oh, with a moan and howl and curse it screams. And I feel their pain in everything. I believe that I was one of them in some distant dream. Oh, I have tried and I have failed and I have burned some bridges on my trail, and with a broken heart and a wounded knee.
When you are splitting large diameter logs, you see it all the time where people go to tear into it and they're just determined to split it right across the middle. And that's exactly what you'd never want to do. That's going one-on-one with the log. There's no point in doing that. That's a very strong piece of wood. It'll easily win. So what you want to do is weaken the log by going around the edge. That way the log becomes weaker and weaker and weaker as you go, and you always just pop off little pieces. Much more successful that way. We wasn't able to save any wood for carving or for furniture, but we did get a whole lot of firewood. I'd say roughly about 1.5 cords. The splitting seemed to go on forever, but it was a nice day to be out working the land. Soon we'd load up the wagon and have another load of firewood, ready to head off into the sunset.
my final wish, kill and a drink, and I thought of you. It happened more times than a few. I stared down a barrel and I wasn't able to follow through. Oh, when the sun's probably shining and white golden, and the moon, she's casting diamonds on Orion stream. And when my soul was finally set free,